Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new show here on CUTV called The Gauntlet. My name is Peyton Trollinger, or I'm the Gauntlet Master. So before we get into the questions, I want to just go over the rules and regulations for our contestants and for the audience. So we will have two contestants, or we'd like to call them two gladiators here on the show. There will be three questions or three rounds. They will debate for points, and the points will be scored on a 10-point must system, just like in boxing. And the winner will get a bonus question that will not count against their rankings. Alrighty, so let's introduce our gladiators. Our first one is Colin Kirkwood. Take it away.
Hey, Peyton, glad to be on your show. Excited to be on the pilot episode, and I think it's going to be a good time.
Alrighty, and we have our second one, Noah Mitchell.
Yeah, definitely excited to get on here. Always fun to debate, see where it goes from there.
Alrighty, are you guys excited?
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, let's get right into it. Our first question is to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They recently just signed their quarterback, Josh Dobbs, and they recently just put Hodges right on the practice squad. So do you think this will be helpful or harmful to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Take it away.
I mean, it's a tough question to sit and think about, considering the fact that it's not that they have to worry about Hodges is gone. He's now back on the practice squad. I saw he signed a deal there, and of course, he can be pretty helpful. You're going to have a guy on a practice squad now that's seen some NFL action the past season, and I feel like that's definitely something that can play to your advantage, if you ask me. But they must like Dobbs a lot to cut him, bring him back. They ended up getting picks out of that whole deal, so must work out in that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a way that this hurts them, especially like you said, Colin, keeping Hodge in the practice squad and he's keeping him around and bringing Dobbs in, a guy that's already been in the system for a couple of years, and just bringing him back. He already knows what's going on, knows most of the guys, so the chemistry is still going to be there. I don't see how this could hurt the Steelers in any way.
Okay. Maybe ask a follow-up question. Do you think Devin Hodges would ever come back into the starter role?
I feel like it's going to take a miracle for him because there's a lot of people in front of him now on the depth chart. You have to worry about them trying to fit Rudolph back into their plans. That's obviously they seem to be committed to him. They want to try to let him learn and grow. But, I mean, like I said, it's going to take a miracle. There's a lot of people ahead of him, so maybe.
I think what's more interesting about this is they cut Paxton Lynch, a guy that has a ton of experience already playing in the NFL. It's surprising that they keep Hodges and bring back Dobbs and get rid of Paxton Lynch, a guy who started a little bit on that Super Bowl run for the Broncos. But I don't know.
Okay. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on the Roethlisberger-Dobbs quarterback tandem?
I mean, why not? Let him go. I mean, there's plenty to learn from Roethlisberger. I mean, how many Super Bowls has he been to? He's won two, at least three that he's been to. There's a guy who's going to be able to teach you a lot of things, and he's been really great with taking young guys under his wing, teaching them what he has to know and everything they should know for them to go forward. But I really think they're going to try to push forward for another Rudolph backup year, but we'll see. Dobbs is pretty athletic, though.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely got to look at the things he was doing in Tennessee a couple of years back, led them to a couple of really successful seasons. But I think the next quarterback after Ben Roethlisberger is somebody that's going to be drafted in the future. I don't think that Rudolph or Dobbs or any of those guys is going to be the replacement to Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. All right. Really solid points. I think I got what I needed. So that was a good first round, and we'll see what happens in the second round here on CUTV and the Gauntlet.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
Now we're going to move on to a different NFL team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers recently just picked up Leonard Fournette from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, my question for my Gladiators, do you think this was a good move or a bad move? We'll start with Noah.
I think this was a great move for Tampa Bay. I mean, the rich just keep on getting richer over there with Tom Brady, getting all the guys that he's going to need around him to be successful. People talk about him have fallen off a cliff, and the best way to rebound from that is putting a bunch of superstar athletes around you and picking up Leonard Fournette. I mean, we've seen he could do a little bit in the pass game in his previous years. I think that's only going to get better from the help of Tom Brady helping develop those catching skills and route running ability. I think that this is going to be a really special team this year.
Okay.
See, I actually don't think he's going to be as big a part in the offense as you may seem or you may hear in terms of media and whatnot, because there are really a lot of people on that coaching staff who are favoring Ronald Jones right now, saying that he's the guy, he's going to be the main person that you see coming out in week one and going on in the future. A lot of people are really interested in his skills and things that he can do, but I mean, you're definitely right about that. I mean, the rich get richer. He goes down and boom, you've got another great caliber starter that you can just throw right into the fold. I can't see how it's going to backfire.
Okay. I like the little debate that's going on right there. I like that. All right. So my question is, though, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're bringing in a lot of this talent. They got Brady, they got Fournette, they got a bunch of other really talented people. Do you think this is going to come back and haunt them? They maybe pull Cleveland Browns. They had Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Baker. They had all that talent, and then, it was very subpar. So do you think this fate is what's going to happen in Tampa Bay?
No, I think there's no shot that it goes down like the Cleveland Browns did. The Cleveland Browns, I think a lot of their failures this past season came from a lack of leadership, both at the quarterback position and at the coaching spot. I mean, Bruce Arians over there, he's going to make sure things are being run smoothly. And then you bring in a championship caliber guy, Tom Brady. He's bringing in leadership with him. He's going to keep everybody on track. And I don't see this being something that happened like the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
I can definitely see that maybe in the first year you're going to see some growing pains because there are going to be some people who are getting used to new schemes and whatnot. Of course, Gronkowski is going to try to get back into the swing of things of football and not WWE belt chasing, if you will. But a lot of guys really going to get used to things. But I think once they gel and they start moving forward, I mean, you can't not have a good season when you've got Mike Evans, Gronkowski, you've got Fournette, and all those other great players all wrapped up into one thing. It's going to work out well for them. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and I think it will take a couple of weeks, though, because this is a totally different season. Training camp was a little bit shorter, and there's not going to be a preseason for guys to go out there and play in those game atmospheres while they're not counting. So it might take a couple of weeks, but I definitely think it'll come together.
Alrighty, and I have, I think, one more question. So it's not even much of a rumor, it's just truth that Leonard Fournette has been attached to some very characteristic problems. So do you maybe see that as a problem in this locker room?
Look, if anybody's going to be able to – oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If anybody's going to be able to hammer that out, it's definitely going to be Brady. He's got a lot of guidelines that he wants his teammates to follow, and he definitely knows how to make them work to get the right things out of them. So I feel like if anybody is going to show him what it takes to win and what kind of attitude you need to have towards winning, it's going to be him, and that's going to get hammered out.
Okay.
And I think that there are really just a lot of frustrations going on with the Jaguars organization when they had a couple pretty good teams a couple of years ago beating the Steelers in the playoffs. They probably had really high expectations, and they just didn't come to true because of the quarterback behind center there. Blake Bortles really couldn't get things together. And we've seen a lot of that frustration through Jalen Ramsey as well. I think it's just a lot going on in the Jags organization that causes a lot of tension as well.
Alrighty, that was a very great round from our Gladiators, so good job to you guys. So we're going to cut to the break, and we're going to get into the final round, and hopefully it's a little bit it's just as exciting as the second round here on CUTV.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gauntlet here on CUTV. My name is Peyton Trollinger. I'm the Gauntlet Master. We've had two very exciting rounds between our Gladiators, and now we are into the final round. This could be deciding who moves on and who goes home. So our question, recently there was a huge trade in the baseball community when the Cleveland Indians traded Mike Clevenger to the San Diego Padres in return for a majority of assets. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
You can go ahead, Noah. You're the big Cleveland Indians guy, so I'll let you go ahead and lead off on this one.
Yeah. It was very painful, like you said, me being a Cleveland Indians fan, to see Clevenger go. I really liked him, but I think a lot of the problems that came up with this and wanting him to get out was when him and Plesac were out in Chicago, I believe it was, and they got caught when they weren't supposed to be out breaking the quarantine rules and stuff like that. And he really wasn't the one that owned up to. He really snuck out, didn't own up to it. And Plesac was the one that got caught and really just came honest with everything. But I think you got to be really excited about this. I mean, the Indians had been struggling to hit before, and they bring in a lot of guys, a lot of bats, a lot of young players to be able to take the place of that. And we already have a really good pitching staff as it is still, though.
Okay. Colin?
I would even say that it's one of the best pitching rotations in the entire league at this point. I mean, there are so many great guys that they obviously feel that they can send him away and still be able to be a great team moving forward. And it's a good trade for San Diego, too. I mean, I love watching them. Whenever they're on, I throw them on just because they're such a fun team to watch. But as I've been watching them throughout the past couple of weeks, I've noticed the starting spot's a little rough for them, to say the least. They've kind of struggled. A lot of runs have been given up, but of course their amazing offense has let them get back into games. But I feel like this guy is definitely somebody who can push them forward and maybe cement things out, anchor it moving forward, and try to keep that run total a bit lower.
I was just about to ask, that was going to be kind of like my next question. Do you think that the Indians are really going to be hurting since they traded away Clevenger?
No, I mean, with guys backing them up like Bieber and Savale, who's really been coming on strong, I think that they're going to be just fine in the starting pitching rotation.
Okay. Colin?
Yeah, and of course, everybody's got one of their favorite players. He has to be a locker room guy in that organization, Carlos Carrasco. I mean, coming back after his scare, everybody's looking around him. He's back playing great baseball again. I think they're going to be just fine.
Okay. Now about the Padres, I've been hearing some rumors about Clevenger. He's not the best locker room guy, kind of similar to Fournette. Now, do you think the Padres locker room will maybe be affected by his presence in a negative way?
I really like that you had brought up Carrasco there, because that was one of the things when Clevenger did sneak out, and just bringing back that risk factor around guys like Carrasco who had cancer. So obviously he's susceptible with a weaker immune system. I think that will play a part in the locker room, just because you got this guy that came in kind of for trouble reasons, and you don't want to bring those troubles into your locker room for a team that's been playing pretty decent.
Okay.
See, I think his whole background of being troubled, if you will, is going to fit great into the Padres system. There's a lot of guys on that team right now who are not being looked upon favorably by the rest of the league. I mean, take Tatis after his whole saga of should I swing, should I not swing on that grand slam he hit against the Rangers a few weeks ago. And that was an unwritten rule that was broken. And I feel like there's a lot of bad guys in that locker room, and they're going to embrace that role. And he might actually fit into the fold well. And look out, you got yourself a potential all-star playing at a high level for them. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
All right, that was a very good round, but I'm going to have to end it there. It was very great. Good job to both of our Gladiators. We're going to cut to one last break before we reveal the final scores here on the Gauntlet on CUTV.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CUTV here on the Gauntlet. And we have our Gladiators, Colin, Kirkwood, and Noah Mitchell. We had a very interesting 3 rounds, and let me tell you what, this is a very close matchup. The winner only won by 1 point. So,
Wow.
yes, it was very close, but the first winner in the Gauntlet history, can I get a drum roll, please?
Left my drum set at home. I'm at
Colin
home.
Kirkwood, congratulations. You are the first winner here on the Gauntlet, the score being 28-27 in favor of Colin. How do you feel, Colin?
That is a close one for sure. And I mean, I got one heck of an opponent to go up to in the first ever episode of this series. So I definitely feel like we're going to have some more battles coming up in the future. So this is just the first of a long series.
So the fourth and final question, will NHL 21 be the best EA hockey game in their history? I'll let you go ahead and start.
Short answer, no. Because they never seem to update anything. They don't listen to their community very often. I mean, they've done some great strides going forward. They've done a lot of different things for single player. I mean, World of Chell is amazing. If you have enough friends and you can drop in, there's a lot of different things to play. You can have your own team with your pals. You can do solos just like skating on a pond at home, outside during the wintertime. There's plenty of different stuff to do, but it's just they seem to not focus on any of the things that maybe players who get it just to play on their own play as. I mean, there supposedly is going to be some updates to the career mode, and they're going to start focusing on some off-ice things and various ideas that are going to happen through that. But I don't have a lot of faith in them. They seem to put a lot of their time into the cash options such as Hockey Ultimate Team and whatnot because they want the money. They don't really care if you like it or not. They know you're going to buy it, and they want to try to squeeze as many cents and dollars as they can out of you.
I get that. I personally think that it's going to be an amazing game, and in my opinion, they peaked at NHL 14. And, in NHL 14, they had a lot of really great offline modes. They had Live the Life mode, which, you could make.
It was a game.
Yeah.
That was a game.
You could make your decisions off ice. You had 4 little bars. I believe it was family, all that. And it was just a really good time. But I really do think NHL 21 is going to be a great game, and I'm really excited to play it. I really hope that in the future they can bring back like a Winter Classic mode. I think that would be super sick. But, you kind of touched on all the points. But, that was our little bonus question for the Gauntlet. And, I'm going to wrap it up now. So I just want to thank Colin Kirkwood for coming on to the show. And I also want to thank Noah Mitchell and Gary Smith behind the scenes. I've been your Gauntlet Master Peyton Trollinger, and I'll see you next time here on the Gauntlet.